All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. We're just going to quickly go over this head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. It's been circulated all over the internet. And I really just want to explain why I think this is probably going to fail. So basically, we had this head and shoulders pattern previously this year. And I was one of the few people that actually called that out. So there was very few others that we're talking about this potential reversal pattern. Now we have this much larger head and shoulders. And, well, in short, really, this is probably going to fail because everyone can see it. And I'm probably going to do a video on this at some point in the future on how to, well, really how to tell whether a head and shoulders pattern is legit or not. But basically, when you have a pattern that's circulating the internet like that, the likelihood of this failing is very high. And this is true, this has been proven true many times throughout history. Generally, when everyone's talking about it, it's kind of like one of those situations where you get in a one-sided trade. And there was probably a lot of people that went short Bitcoin as soon as it broke 30,000. Today, thinking that this pattern was going to trigger, and you can see the volume here. Look at the buy volume and reversing nicely off the lows. Now, I do expect, you guys may be a little confused because I have been saying that Bitcoin is headed back to at least 20,000 at some point. But what I see more so in that is I think that we're going to have more of a bear market first. I think that we need to see some sideways chop for a while, and I think really part of Bitcoin going back to 20,000 is more of it needs to weed out the weak hands. And if it just dumps right to 20,000 after being at 60,000, really 2 months ago or 3 months ago, it's not going to really weed out those weak hands. I think what we need to see is a bear market, an actual bear, where it's just kind of in a range for a long time, and then eventually you flush to 20,000, and that's when everybody throws their hands up and gives up, and then that's where you want to be buying longer term. But this right here, again, I've talked about it for a while. I do think we could trade back up as high as 48, 50,000 or so and retest this previous neckline. And I think that would make sense with everybody kind of checking this pattern. And I see it pretty much every day now on Twitter and on YouTube. It just says to me that the likelihood of it failing is very high. It really does. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Also, you're seeing some weakness here, obviously, in Ethereum. Doge actually had a head and shoulders trigger yesterday. So this is a pretty big flush, although it's bouncing there on the 200 moving average. Now, some of these weaker coins could actually see a bear market sooner than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's more of the best read. Litecoin just hanging on by a thread here. If it loses this level here at about let's say, it's the low here, 118, 116. Yeah, I mean, it could trade back down to as low as, 83 or 85 there. But again, they're all going to kind of trade in lockstep. So if Bitcoin rallies, then these things should bounce. XRP losing the 200 moving average here, but this one has a lot of trouble with the SEC and so on. And a lot of people in the United States are actually stuck in this trade. So this one's a little bit harder to do analysis on. But generally, yeah, we're seeing Bitcoin bounce here off the lows. Not really a big surprise. Until you break this pivot and make a lower low, or break this pivot up here and make a higher high, I'm really not interested in anything that Bitcoin does. I see it all the time, like, oh, Bitcoin's above 40,000, or Bitcoin's above 38,000, or it's below 32. I don't really care. Until it breaks one of these ends of the range, pretty much all action on it is irrelevant, in my opinion. So, but anyway, just wanted to give you a little heads up on that. That's what I'm seeing. I do not expect this head and shoulders to play out. By the way, the target on it is actually ridiculous. It's pretty much like zero. So you got like a $30,000 move here, $35,000 move here from the top to here. And if you subtract that from the neckline, it's basically, the target is zero. So I don't think that's going to play out. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. I'll probably do a video on the equity markets later today, and we'll get that out to you. Alrighty, guys, take care.